Welcome back to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion. I'm Aaron Richmond, and as always, this episode of Aaron's Opinion is copywritten by me, Aaron Richmond, and Aaron's Opinion. Thank you. Today's episode can be heard on iTunes, along with YouTube, or really anywhere else you would get a podcast. Consider following us on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and as I said, don't forget to comment below on YouTube. So today we are joined by a very, very, very special guest, someone who is not blind. However, I have noticed that one of the questions and one of the topics that a lot of blind people in my audience want to know about is that a lot of you out there have questions about acting and the acting industry as a whole in general. We're joined with or by Khuloud has joined us today. And she runs basically a coaching business, and she'll tell us more about that. So basically, if you're watching, this is basically the episode known as Action or Acting, everything we wanted to know. Welcome to the Aaron's Opinion podcast. Go ahead.
Hi, and thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
My pleasure.
Thanks. My name is Khuloud Al Zaabi, and I live in California, but I'm originally from Dubai. And just so you know, I'm an actress, a business of acting coach, and a certified NLP practitioner. I booked a lot of commercials, international and national commercials. I also booked a lot of short films, feature films. That's just an introduction about me so people know. I also teach actors who are struggling and aspiring actors who wants to learn more about the industry. I also help them how to target their buyers. And what I mean with buyers is their casting directors, producers, directors, and so on. Like the people that gonna hire you in the industry. I also help you in how to maximize your bookings and how to get more auditions and how to build your connection with the people in the industry. Yeah.
Excellent. So, if someone is watching this video, maybe the first question that a lot of blind people want to know is, so how does someone get involved in acting in the first place? Obviously, if you needed to create a coaching business, which is a great idea, by the way, if you needed to create a coaching business, it's probably not simple at all. So how do people get into acting in the first place?
Okay, so anyone can be an actor. We all are actors. We do everything. We're human. We're doing things that actors are doing. So we don't have to act. It's just the word acting is for us to see the people on TV. Oh my God, they're actors and they're doing great job. But they're implying the same thing. They're applying the same thing that people are doing in real life. So we all can do that. All of us. The other thing is you can start by going to acting classes and taking scene study class to learn how to act. Because sometimes when you're in front of the camera, you get really stiff and you get nervous and you forget your lines. So scene study class teach you how to move and not to be nervous and how to be able to talk to the other partner and listen. That's just for the classes that you can take. You can even take on camera class. There's a lot of acting classes. But for me, I just teach the business side of acting. So I will be going through what you need, the materials you need. For example, headshots, because that's really important for actors to have. A headshot and a resume. It's the first thing that gets you in. And for a headshot, it's not just a smiling picture of you. It needs to speak to the casting director. And what I mean with that, it's a lot of process that we have to go through. This person needs to do a survey, this actor needs to do a survey, needs to go ask people about their type and so on. And about the resume, it includes a lot of things. One of it, like the films that you have done before, TV shows that you have acted in before, your skills, your acting skills, and even like the courses or like classes that you took before, and theatrical stuff that you did, even in school or professionally. So that's the beginning, like, of how to start. But then there's other process to that, which is your demo reel, which is you have to create your clips or scenes of what you did before, like things that you acted in before. So yeah.
Very interesting. That's excellent. Okay. Now, as far as you're concerned, what about you? So what have been some really interesting things that you have acted in?
For me, I did act in. I booked a commercial, a Snickers commercial.
Meaning now by booked. Let's for the audience.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
define what you meant by booked. Do you mean that you booked someone else to be in a Snickers commercial, or you
No.
booked yourself to be in the Snickers commercial? Well, it's kind of
Okay,
it's
yeah,
kind of out there. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
which one do
yeah.
you mean?
Yeah. So the thing is, for actors, they need to know that first you have to audition. Okay, and after auditioning to like a commercial or a TV show, you have to wait till, like, you know, the casting tells you, okay, now there's another callback that we want you to come in and do your scene in front of the producers and directors. And then after the callback, they either choose you, like, to do like either you booked it, or they tell you no, come back again, and we want to see more of what you're doing. But if you pass that, you booked the job.
In other words, you got the job.
Yes, you got the job.
Okay. So there's apparently some acting verbs that are used in the acting
Yes.
vocabulary, and to book means to get the job,
Yes.
to get the role. Okay.
Yeah.
And in this particular Snickers commercial, what was why were you motivated to act in that commercial, and really what was the attraction to that commercial?
So I got this commercial by a referral, because, like, you know, when you work with people in the industry, some of them, like, they will like you and they will refer you, like, to even acting jobs, and they will be like, you know what, we really like your personality, we really like your vibes, so we're gonna give you this job. some some of the times you have to go through the whole process as, like, you know, auditioning, and then get the call back, and then either you book it or you don't. But in my situation, like, what happened is I got a referral, like, for that job, and I was like excited because it's like a like commercial for Snickers. So I was like, yeah, I love Snickers, why not? So yeah.
Don't we all? See, so that's an interesting, that's a very interesting story, Khalud, and of course it's, yeah, very good information. I think that anyone can love Snickers, anyone can love a candy,
Yes.
right? But it's about making the connection with the producer, connecting your
Yes.
personality. So what, I mean, I'm just asking, out of you, because the audience would probably want to know what was it about your personality that helps Snickers to make money?
Okay, so I know, because, like, we just met, so, like, everyone tells me, like, you have this bubbly character, uh you're so energetic, and we love that about you. Like, you're lovable, like, you know, between people, like, you know, anyone can come and just talk to you and open up really fast. So they did like that about me. I'm not saying that you guys have to be the same. Just be
Hmm.
yourself.
It's
Just
a
be
really
yourself.
it's really
Yeah.
good advice. Just
Yes.
be yourself. Be yourself, be cool, be relaxed, and go with
Yes.
the flow of it. Is what
Yeah.
is what I'm getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's
don't try to be someone else, because they will know. Like, they feel it. We
right.
all feel it. So yeah. Just be normal. Be you.
Be you. Just
Yeah.
if you want to act, act as you. You're your own
Yes.
character. Yeah, you
Yes,
have to
that's true.
embody your own persona. Sure, sure. And what did you have to do in the Snickers commercial? Did you have to hold the Snickers? Did you have to take a bite? Did you have to, throw the trash over your shoulder? I mean, let's really dig into it because
Okay.
a lot of blind people in my audience are kind of secretly wondering about this and kind of have a
Yeah.
odd fascination with this. So
Okay.
that's why I'm asking. Sure.
So for the Snickers commercial, I was okay. I'm not gonna use the acting terms because it's gonna be difficult. Uh, I was like, I stole the food from my friend. It was like for a Halloween uh, Snickers commercial. So I stole the food from my friend, and then she found me, and then she got mad, and she's the one who was eating the Snickers. Like I threw the Snickers, and she was eating it. I told her, "Oh, was that good?" Because she was gonna kill me, like in the commercial, if I didn't give her the Snickers. So yeah.
I see. I see. It reminds me of the Butterfinger commercial too.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. The quote unquote, don't lay. There's probably a phrase in that commercial, something about like don't put your finger. It's something about don't nobody puts a finger on my Butterfinger or
Oh yeah.
some something like that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Good. Good. Great. Great. So besides that, what other commercials have you done? Have you done like other products or just mostly
No.
a variety of candy?
No. That's funny, but no, I did football commercials, and that was like really interesting because I don't know if I'm into football though, but like I went one time and I had so much fun, but I did get a lot of football commercials.
No, as in, and you mean like European soccer, like FIFA, right?
Yeah, yes,
FIFA.
yes,
Okay, for
yeah,
FIFA. What now? A commercial in what sense? Just advertising for the next World Cup, or
yes, for
that's?
for the World Cup. Yeah, that's true.
I see. And what was the scene, or what was the setup in that one in general? What was the
Okay,
setup?
so I was the principal role, so like I was the main character in the whole commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they do it in a different way. So like the first one that I did, it was like I was a mother, and I had my kid and a husband, and they wanted to show that like we are a family and we're going to watch a football like or a soccer match. That's the first commercial. The second one, it was about like all the friends are gathering together, and so, like in someone's else house, and we're eating and watching the match. And it's like we're enjoying having fun, just like friends gathering and so
Okay,
on. Yeah.
got it. Did you wear and for that one, did you wear the Emirati uniform, the Emirati color?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. How
that's
did you know? Yeah.
you mentioned it before we pushed the record before we started. You mentioned you're from the Emirates, so
Yes.
I was wondering if they let you wear the Emirati uniform for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good. Now, how long? Another thing that a lot of people would ask is, so how long does it take when you're actually in the studio filming? How long does it take to film the commercial, like start to finish? Is it like it probably depends, but is it at least 3 hours? Can it be 5 hours? How long does it take to film your average commercial?
Okay, do you mean like when we start shooting the
Correct. From the shoot, from when you start the shoot, how
Okay.
long is the entire process usually?
Okay, it's like 10 to 12 hours. That's all the sets are like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if you're going for a TV show or something, it's gonna be 10 to 12 hours or 14 hours
Mm,
a day. Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
And what is it about shooting a commercial? What is, from the technical side, what is actually going on that uses that amount of time? I believe you.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they do close up, and close up is when they bring the camera close to your
Mm-hmm.
face.
Yeah.
And also like they do long shot, which is like, they have to take the full body and the full place. Like they have to take the full thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why sometimes they're like, no, wait, we have to take from this side. No, we have to take it from this side. So they will have more than one shot. So like the client will be satisfied with that. It will be like, okay, I like that one. Maybe we will not use the other one. That's why they want to have different varieties. So they don't be like, so the client don't tell them, no, you have to shoot this again, all over again, like from,
Mm, mm.
yeah.
So a lot of it is similar to editing videos or similar
Yes.
to the art of podcasting, where sometimes if you don't get it right, you have to start over or
Yeah.
do it again, or something weird happens, or there's a
Yeah.
strange dinging sound that won't stop and nobody knows where it's coming from, that type of thing. Right.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
true.
Goodness. Good. So then if you're really there for 14 hours, then is it, 7 hours on and then you take a lunch break, or how do they organize break?
Yeah. There is a lunch break for an hour, or
Hmm.
sometimes they will give you 30 minutes. Yeah.
I see. Sometimes you only get 30 minutes.
I
So
will tell you
yes,
something. Like,
tell me.
I noticed something. Like a lot of actors, they will be like, "Yeah, we want to do this. We want to act. We love acting." But then when they start getting jobs and they start being on set, they say like, "No, I don't want to do this anymore." Why? Because they have to wait all this time, which is like 14 hours or 12 hours. For them, it's a lot. But if you really love it, you will not even feel the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I would hope that people would get into acting because they truly love it and truly have the interest, because
Yeah.
it seems like it would be interesting but also burdensome if you didn't like it. So, but then again, if you didn't like it, you probably wouldn't book it, right? You probably wouldn't get the job if they could tell you didn't like it, they probably wouldn't hire you, right?
Some of the actors, they don't know till they go on set. Like if they love it, if they love acting, they will go and do their best in the audition, and maybe they will book it, yes. But when they go on set and start working, they'll be like, I don't think this thing is for me.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's okay. That sounds strange to me, because I guess I was under the false impression
Yeah.
that all actors that I would see in a movie or on TV are people who truly love it and truly want to be there. But then I would wonder, well, if you don't want to be on set, then why would you, like, what? How could you? I mean, like, how could they misunderstand that, or not really misunderstand, but how could they be confused? I guess about the reality. How could they not grasp the reality beforehand? I guess.
um some people, they just want to do it because they want to become famous,
Well, that's not
so
that's not a that's not a reason. They aren't going to get famous that way, and that's not a reason to do
but
it. Right.
like some of them, they're like thinking, oh my god, if I would do this, I'm just gonna get famous. That's what I'm thinking about. But some of them, they don't know that they have to work on set for 12 or 14 hours. So they're like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I will just audition, and then I will get the job, and then I'm gonna be a star. And they're not thinking about, no, you have to be on set, you have to work 12 to 14 hours, and then you have to wait even like, for the final product to be like done, and then you have to show it to other people that you did this job before, or you have like credits.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's yeah. Well, okay. And I had a question when you were explaining that.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting material here, definitely. So yeah. So then, I mean, and then what happens if they're working with someone, on set, and it becomes obvious to the director that, hey, this person is just not our cup of tea. So then how does
Oh,
that work then? Do they just call a backup, or is there a list of people that they call to fill it in? How does that work?
that's really cool question. It's a really amazing question, because I will tell you what will happen. So if they didn't like that actor, he can get, or she can get fired at the same time. And that, yes, they do have a replacement. Because before they, like, anyone books the job, they already had 5 or 10 choices before that person. So they have to pick one of them to book the job or to get the job.
Right.
But if that person came and they worked with and they liked, and I will tell you something, like producers and directors, like when they sit together, they try to figure out that person character. are we willing to work with that person on set for 3 days, 4 days, or a full day? Is that person going to be like a trouble for us, or is that person going to take direction easily? So they're
Mm,
not going to choose anyone that they don't want to work with. They want to choose someone that that will make the job so easy and soft and smooth to them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then do they also do a lot of interviews with, potential actors where they sit down, over Zoom or before the pandemic, would they just sit down with people like in an office and just ask you questions like a job interview?
Um, no. So like when you do the audition, you just go inside the room and there will be like a casting director sitting. Sometimes the director or producer will be there in the room. Either like three people or more than that will be in the room. So it will go inside. You will have to start acting. First, you will say your name and then you will start acting. After that, they will tell you, okay, thank you. We will let you know later. And you will have to go. So they will not tell you, oh my God, you did great. They will not tell you nothing. You will have to wait till they announce, or either they will not tell you nothing. Like they will book someone else and you will not know if you got the job or if you didn't till you see the commercial. Yeah.
I see. That's darkly humorous. You wouldn't know if you didn't get it until you see your opponent in the commercial. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was me. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't get that one. All right. Well,
That's how it works here. They don't tell you nothing. Yeah.
that I mean that doesn't on one hand that doesn't surprise me with the volume of content that probably needs to be produced. That wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me in the slightest. Although I don't know. You would think I guess it would take literally 2 seconds to send an email. Hey, sorry, you didn't book it. You didn't get the job. Send and
Yeah.
then. But I guess they feel like they don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So
But if you
yes.
have connections, if you do have connections and you know people in that job, like for example, the director or so on, they will let you know. Like if you know the people, they will let you know. But if you don't know no one, they will not tell you.
Right. So if you don't know anyone or if you don't know any of the people
Yeah.
sitting in the room and you're just to them you're just like a stranger, just like a number
Yeah.
walked in from the street, then they don't tell you. But if it's a director that you've worked with before, then right then would they just say booked, congratulations, or would they say okay good? I guess it would kind of depend on the people at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would kind of depend on the situation, right?
And something else, maybe a lot of actors don't know, but when you build your connection with them, they will refer you first. So they might tell you like, you know what, we want you to do the audition first. We want to see how you're gonna act like the character. So they might tell you like, you first, do it first. Then we're gonna look for other actors. So they will ask you to do the audition first before even they start the whole process. So yeah.
Excellent. Now, have you been in any Arabic commercials or acted in Arabic?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Uh, any particular interesting ones from that maybe would be interesting? There are a couple people on my WhatsApp group for Aaron's Opinion.
Yeah.
I have a global private group for my podcast, and several of them are from the Middle East.
Oh wow.
One Tunisian and a Syrian. So I have worked with people from that region before. So what
Yeah.
Arabic commercials have you done?
I did a perfume commercial, and I have to
Ah,
talk about that. Yeah. Yeah, and the other commercials too is like it was also about sorry, soccer, because I know that I'm gonna say football, but like
oh,
soccer.
I say football too
Yeah.
for the global
Yeah.
audience, right?
Oh
Football.
yeah. Yeah, so I did a lot of that, and also like I acted in films in Dubai, and that film got a winning award gold.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
and I was so happy for that. Like when I heard it, because they just announced that few weeks. Yeah.
wow, wow, excellent. Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
What was the summary of that film? What was the plot in one sentence?
Okay, the film called The Dinner, and it's about a butcher that that has a daughter. She became a vegetarian, and no, sorry, she became vegan.
Okay,
and,
that's
and
okay. That's content. Okay, if you're a butcher
yeah,
and you have a daughter who ends up being vegan, okay, that's material. Okay, stop. Okay, that's material. I get.
it's
Okay,
funny.
so
It's a comedy, like
it's
it's
okay. So you would say maybe from the Middle East, from the Emirati perspective, you would. I mean, would you consider yourself kind of a comic actress? We would say in American English, would you consider yourself a comic actress?
yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
So did you play the vegan? Did you play the vegan daughter?
No, I didn't play
Oh,
the
thank God.
vegan dog.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
no, 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 no. I didn't play that, but I played the her sister, but like as I'm pregnant. But it's really funny. It's a
I see. I see.
film. Yeah.
Yes. That sounds very entertaining. So then, I would have to ask you. So you're in California. You're in Hollywood. You know,
Yeah.
number one, what are some future and secretive plans from Hollywood? You know, what do you think they're really cooking up out there in Hollywood as far as some films that we're going to see in the future? What do you think?
In Hollywood, there's a lot of things shooting here. There's commercials, there's sitcoms, there's drama, there's dark comedy, there's uh, mysterious and science fiction. There's a lot of things here in Hollywood. They're shooting a lot of things. But if you will go like to different countries, it's maybe a bit less. But here in Hollywood, like it's the base for film and TV. So it has a lot of things. But if the actors don't know how to play the game right, they're gonna get stuck and they will not grow from there. And a lot of actors who comes here, they have just a plan as, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have an agency, and then I'm gonna have I will have connections with castings and stuff, and then they don't
No,
get
no.
nowhere. They get nowhere because they don't know how to reach out to them. They don't know how to plan the whole thing, and they don't know even how to have a good headshots that gonna how can I that's gonna sell them to casting directors.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to promote yourself. You have to come across well.
Yes.
And you have to come across and you have to convince the director
Yes.
that it will be successful if they book you, if they hire
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot and you know, it's I mean, I hear a lot of people. It sounds weird to me, and I am not an actor, as you can tell. It sounds weird to me when people say, "I'm going to move to Hollywood and be an." That's just a weird thing to say. It obviously does not work like that,
Yeah.
and that's clearly an unrealistic, perception of the industry.
Yeah. It's just some people like they have this you know, when you believe in something that, oh my God, I believe that I'm gonna do this so bad, and I'm gonna be there one day. But if you don't have a plan and then you take actions, you're not going anywhere. You will be
Right.
stuck where you are because you have to plan it and then take actions to be able to go, like, get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, you really yeah. That's exactly right. Um. So you know if who was the most unusual person you have met? And there are some very unusual people in California. I'm sure you've met some characters in your
Yeah.
life. Can you talk to us a little bit about a really fascinating person that you have met already that American people would know or
Uh,
anyone would know?
like other actors, you mean?
Yeah, or other interesting people within the industry.
Okay. So I met Vanessa Hudgens. She's the one in High School Musical.
Okay.
She's amazing. Like she's an amazing person. I was surprised, like you know, that is she's really skinny. Because you know, in TV, like that what I know. Like my mother, all the time, she tells me like the camera makes you look huge. But in real life, when you go and meet people, you'll be like surprised because I was surprised that she's really skinny, but she's a really nice person. I was like, wow. Because like some of the actors, some of them, they will be like, you know what, I'm an actor, I'm famous, everyone knows me, so please don't talk to me. I don't know you. You're just a fan, like, no. But some of them, they're really like, they have this polite in them, and they will talk to anyone. They're really nice with everyone, and that's how each actor needs to be. It's not because you're famous and so on, like you have to treat other people in a different way. That's wrong. People will start going, like, back off from you and like never talk to you again. So
Funny you mentioned that, because the same is true in podcasting. In case you were asking that, or in case you wondered, yes, if guests are rude to me, or if guests start misbehaving, I don't give them the privilege and the attention to be on my podcast.
yeah,
And I'm not famous, but
yeah,
I'm also not going to be disrespected. So I completely understand what you're saying. You have to know how to act around other people. You have to know how to behave. You
yeah,
have to be normal, and you have to behave around other people. Yeah, because I don't have patience for that. So I completely understand. Yeah,
yeah.
that's okay. Well, if all of your dreams came true, this is a year with a lot of challenges,
Yes.
a lot of crazy stuff going on all over the world. But if all your dreams came true, and you could be in only one American movie as a principal role, what would the character be?
Wow. um, hmm. That's really interesting. Because like for comedy, I will say something else, but for drama, I will say something else too.
Well, let's hear drama. Let's hear drama, comedy, and then you can give something else. So
Okay,
start
so,
with drama.
okay, so drama, I want to be like a hero, uh, and yeah, and like power, like have like how can I say that? That I have like a strong uh power that can help a lot of people, and I build my crew from there. That's like something that I want to do, like for a drama. For comedy, I want to be in a sitcom and be the smart girl, like who knows everything. But how it will be like built from there as a story, I have no idea, but like I never thought about it. But yeah, I just want to be the smart girl, because like my characters all the time, like when I go for parts, it's mostly like the smart girl, the intelligent girl. So yeah.
This is gonna come across. I've never phrased this question. Actually, considering I've spoken to a lot of people on this podcast.
Yeah.
I've spoken to everyone. I've had athletes. I've had retired correctional officers. We worked at prisons. I've had a model before. I've actually never spoken to an actress before, so I've never asked this particular question. Let me see how this question comes across. So,
Okay.
so, well, if there's a really, really good movie that's going to bring in, a real blockbuster, would you be willing to play a stupid girl, a girl with?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Like I'm willing to do that because for me, I feel like sometimes I can be like, the dumb crazy girl, like, start acting funny and making people laugh. I love making people laugh. So if it's a part that gonna make a lot of people laugh, yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. That's cool. That's cool. And have you ever been a casting director yourself? In other words, have you ever ran an audition or done any of these things from the business side as the director?
Yes, I did it as a casting. I worked with talent as a casting, and I did see like how they chose them and why they chose them. The other thing about casting, if you don't know, like people who works with the casting, so like the casting director, under her there will be like the casting associate and then the casting assistant. So they will go and work with the other talents, and if they found one of them that is like treating them bad or saying something bad about like the production or something, at the end of like the whole day, after like the whole thing is over, the casting director comes and she gather all of us and she asks us who is from those actors said something bad. or what they did.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
we
cool.
have, yeah, yeah.
So
I never
so
knew that before.
you better be, so the moral lesson here is you better behave if you're on set. You better be
Yes,
on your best behavior because they're going to
yes,
come for you at the end of the day when you're tired and not up for dealing with it. That
yeah,
fascinates me, and I support that concept. Yeah.
yeah. You
Well,
can't say nothing because, like, if you will start saying things, we listen. Like people on
sure,
set, they
sure.
listen. And the thing is, they go and talk too. Like they will go and tell, hey, this person said that and
Oh,
this. Like,
come on, really, come on.
yeah, yeah. So you just have to be like careful because you never know who gonna hear you. Maybe the director and you don't know that. Maybe the client. Like for example, last time I was working in a shoot and the client was one of the actors. The people who in the production knew who's the client, but the actors didn't know. And
Hmm.
they were gossiping and saying stuff. And the client was sitting there with them.
Yeah, so
And he
just
fired some people. Yeah.
good for him. Good. Yeah, I would not put up with that for a heartbeat. I would have
Yeah.
just zero patience for that behavior. Yeah, that's so
And
good.
never sleep on set. Never sleep on set.
Well, I think if you're in this industry, I think you should get a good night's sleep the night before
Yeah.
and eat a healthy diet and just be in good shape and not have to worry about stuff like that.
Have a lot
That's
of caffeine on set.
just keep drinking coffee. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
When I'm not podcasting, I'm an online English teacher
yeah.
for a company X. It's actually based in California somewhere.
Mhm.
And when I'm not, in between calls, I have to drink coffee, and sometimes my voice gets kind of stuck. So I have to drink coffee. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
by the way, do they allow it? Do they allow coffee drinking on set? If you
yeah.
have to talk all day and you have to like you kind of wet your whistle, do they allow a coffee sip halfway through?
Uh, I don't know about that, but like in the break time, you can
Hmm.
go and get coffee. Like in the crafty, they call it crafty. So you have to go to that side, which like food and coffee and everything is there. You can take the coffee with you on set while they're shooting.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't want to like do something to the place and then you will get in a big trouble.
Yeah, you try not to spill coffee all over the camera that then
Yeah,
you're gonna have to pay for, and
yeah.
then they probably aren't gonna book you after if you destroy a camera. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot of guesting on other people's podcasts? Reason I asked, I'm very pleased you came. I was kind of a shoot in the dark for me. Honestly, kind of surprised you came, and really glad that you did. Do you do a lot of podcasting and guesting with other podcasters?
I did, yeah. So in Dubai I did one and here I did one and you're the second person that I did with. So yeah.
Who's the other podcaster?
So the other podcaster is he worked with me as an NLP. He's an NLP practitioner
Hmm.
too.
That's
So
very. I know what that is, but yeah, neuro language programming, I believe, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, that's
neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, neuro linguistic programming. When done properly, that is a very interesting thing to study.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it has to be done just right though, and at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's amazing way to get rid of your limiting beliefs, or even limiting decisions that you have, or any like negative thinking that you have in your brain. So like the NLP like focuses more on the unconscious mind and how you can get rid of these things that you had in the past and learn from it too at the same time. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I have asked you a lot of questions today. I love to put guests on the spot. I love to make my guests sweat a little bit. So, if you can ask me only one question, what do you
Yeah.
want to ask me?
Okay, why did you start doing this? Like the podcast, and why
Sure.
you're even teaching uh, English? It's just like, I just want to know. I'm curious.
Of course, I'll tell you. Of
Yeah.
course. Um, so what happened was that I graduate. So I'm somewhere undisclosed location somewhere in North America, and I graduated from university in the field of international studies. And I discovered that I wasn't going to be in the foreign ministry. I wasn't going to be like a diplomat or a person like that.
Yeah.
So I needed to find something to do. And um, I realized that a lot of people around the world need to learn English. And because of that, I got into online teaching. I've been working with Company X for 5 years. Now, about a year ago, I was listening to podcasts that you would not listen to yourself because you're not a blind person, but I was listening to podcasts geared towards the disability community. And I noticed that they just were not really open. They just weren't like cool and relaxed where people can just come up to me and have a conversation. And so I love talking to people. I love complaining and I love educating people, right? So I figured, well, since I want to complain and educate people, why don't I just talk to myself? And I kept on doing that and then recording it. And then over a period of time, discovered that the people who I'm talking to want to talk to me back, and then started having longer conversations. And then that's how you get into YouTube. It's not like, it's not like you can't just go onto YouTube one day. It's not like being an actor where you go to Hollywood and then you're famous like within 30 seconds. It's like on YouTube, you have to work up to it. You have to,
I know,
the other thing that I've figured out is you need to learn how to talk to people and how to convince people to come and talk to you. It's a big process. So yes.
Yeah, that's so true, because I do have a YouTube channel too, and it takes a lot of time to work and build it too. Yeah.
And build it up to where, and I noticed that like I have a larger audience on YouTube, but it's kind of weird. The balance is weird. It's like only 12% listen to this thing on iTunes, and then like 64% are listening somewhere else. Well, what's the else? That's just weird. There's a lot of these weird platforms that people get my podcast from. So
that's really cool. That's really interesting. It's really like a great thing to do, because like, and what is like most of your topics about?
Well, most of my topics are about issues that concern the blindness community, right? So as I said, I was born blind, a very sickly baby with glaucoma, many other health problems. And so most of my guests are blind people. But when I see but of course, sighted people like you are always welcome. And by the way, once you guest on my podcast, know that you're on my team. You're welcome in my community. I am the most welcoming podcaster in the history of welcome podcasters. Or I might be exaggerating, but at least it's my opinion, right? So most of my topics are about issues dealing with blindness and disability, from jobs to employment to philosophy, society. But then I saw your video, as I said, and I thought, a lot of blind people ask me, and a lot of blind people, actually, this sounds very strange to you, but a lot of blind people want to be an actor. And I would think that would be quite difficult. I don't know. I'm sure it's happened and I'm sure it's possible. But have you known of any type of thing where someone with a disability does become an actor?
Yes. Like I'm not surprised when you told me like you might be like surprised at something that they want to act. Now in Hollywood, that's the great thing that they started doing. Anyone can start acting. Anyone, even like people with disability. I know I don't like to call like anyone with disability, because everyone has like magic on them.
Right.
So so like all of us, like, we're people, we're human, and I don't like to give names or stuff, like,
Sure.
I don't like that.
You don't like to label.
I don't like to label people, because even if we have something that is not in us, but we still have a great thing inside of us. So so now in Hollywood, they're taking everyone, and even like in a lot of TV shows, they started like, putting a lot of people to act in it, even like, if they're gay or straight, or
great.
they have like
That's great.
or they have any like, problems or anything, they can act now, which is awesome. Like I'm happy they started to do that right now. So if you want to become an actor, you can become an actor. So yeah, you can do it with like you have the power to become who you want to be. Yeah.
It's a great life lesson. You have the power to become who you want to be. I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I see. Any um any final questions for me?
Yeah, I need the links. I need everything. I need to watch, and I'm gonna talk about your podcast and my YouTube channel so people know about that.
Oh,
Yes.
and you know what else I would love too? Speaking of, I'll save you the time from doing it. You don't even need to invite me to your show. I'm guesting on your show, so you let me know when you want me to
Okay.
guest on your channel.
For sure, for sure. I'm like 100% with that. Like, let's do something like that. I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
post it. I'm gonna put it in my YouTube channel too, and we
Yes,
can.
please.
So yeah, so everyone knows about you and what you do, because that's really awesome. Because I
Well,
never
that's
heard like anyone is doing that, and if they are doing it, I don't think they're going in depth about like the topics, because I think every one of us needs to know like in depth and in details about like one another,
yeah.
and that's an awesome thing that you're doing. So yeah.
I appreciate that. That's so kind. Yeah, you've really answered a lot of critical questions that
Thank you.
I think a lot of the public was wondering that. So I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, well that would be great. We can certainly work on that. And I mean that's all I have. A very interesting interview. I hope that you do more
Thank you.
with your podcast and more with your YouTube.
Mhm.
And anyone can be an actor on YouTube. So I think YouTube
Yes.
kind of is an act. YouTube kind of is sort of a sort of like acting in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
actually. So.
YouTube and Instagram and social media, like, in
Mm-hmm.
general. Yeah. You
Mm.
can start acting and someone finds you there. So never lose hope, because you never know who's going to see you one day. Just keep putting content, just keep creating, just keep posting and keep posting. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I greatly, you're very kind. I certainly look forward to recording future episodes with you. But before you go, please give yourself a plug. If people want to sign up for your class, or if they want to contact you, how do they do that?
So in my Instagram, you can go to at K's Actors Guide, or for my website, I'm just gonna give it to you, so like you can put it down in the
Click the
description.
link. So click the
Yeah.
link in the description below. Got it.
Yes. And you're gonna find me everywhere by K's Actors Guide. It's KAYS Actors Guide. Yeah.
Excellent. So good. If you have questions for me, as I like to say, nobody ever has questions for me. But then again, if you did, you could always send me an email to aaronsopinion6@gmail.com. You can tell me that I'm a horrible person and I'm deemed to hell. That's fine. aaronsopinion6@gmail.com. Or you could tell me, but since nobody ever says that, that must mean that I'm perfect and great. So you could send an email and say how much you enjoyed the episode, or maybe ask a question. aaronsopinion6@gmail.com. Don't forget, follow us right here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and even consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page to all of you out there. Khuloud from
Yes.
K's
Actors
acting
Guide.
K's Actors Guide. Greatly appreciated the interview, and of
Thank you.
course, I have a very special way that I end every episode. See, it's
Okay.
important to start an episode and to end it in a very distinctive way. I have a very famous slogan. My slogan is, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.